Welcome to our overview of second grade interdependent relationships in ecosystems. There are many different kinds of living things in any area, and they exist in different places on land and in water. Organisms rely on physical factors such as light, temperature, water, soil, and space for shelter. Earth's varied combination of these factors provide the physical environments in which its habitats develop and in which the diverse species of the planet live. Animals can move around, but plants cannot, and they often depend on animals for pollination or to move their seeds around. Because of their dependence on air, water, minerals in the soil, and light to grow, different plants survive better in different settings because they have varied needs. The first set of lessons for this unit is focused on students understanding that plants depend on air, water, minerals, and light to grow. Through the use of text, students will observe how the four main structures, roots, stem, leaves, and flower, of a plant use air, water, and light to survive and grow. Survival of a Plant, Lesson 2, is a whole class activity where students apply what they've learned from the text in Lesson 1 as they conduct an investigation to determine if plants need sunlight and water to grow. In this activity, the Explore phase will last approximately 1 week, where the leaves of one plant will be covered and the other exposed to a source of light. The plant lab sheet is linked to the activity and has students observing the effect that covering the leaves and not watering it has on the plant. As we examine the assessment boundary for this performance expectation, it indicates that student investigations are limited to testing one variable at a time. So it would be recommended that this activity examine 3 plants instead of the 2. One plant in a dark location that doesn't receive light but is watered, one plant that is receiving light but gets no water, and a third that is our control that is going to receive both light and water. While this is a whole class investigation, it's important that students themselves determine the question, for example, what does a plant need to survive, the procedure for the investigation, and how data will be collected. Engineering is Elementary, EIE, follows a 4-unit lesson format. The first lesson sets the context for the unit through an illustrated storybook. The second lesson focuses on helping students gain a broader understanding of the unit's engineering focus. The third lesson is designed to allow students to collect and analyze data that will be used in Lesson 4 to inform their final designs. And the unit concludes in Lesson 4, where students follow the steps of the engineering design process as they design, create, and improve solutions to an engineering problem. This design challenge is used as a final project. In designing hand pollinators, students explore agricultural engineering, including the role that agricultural engineers have in aiding plant pollination. Lesson 1 introduces students to agricultural engineering through the storybook Mariana Becomes a Butterfly. The story is set in the Dominican Republic as Mariana encounters problems caring for her non-indigenous ohilio plant. Through the story, Mariana discovers that insects play an essential part in the pollination system for many plants. In Lesson 2, students gain a greater understanding of the field of agricultural engineering and the technology of integrated pest management by performing a short play. As a class, students narrate and play the parts of insects, farmers, and agricultural engineers in the play Honeybrook Farm Apple Orchard. In Lesson 3, students through experimentation and observation will identify materials that are textured in such a way that they will pick up pollen, yet do not hold the pollen so well that it cannot be dropped off elsewhere. Students use a standardized method to dislodge the pollen. This test is performed over black paper flowers so that students can easily observe where the pollen is not being deposited. In Lesson 4, students will continue to use the engineering design process to design, build, and test a hand pollinator designed for one of 4 different model flowers. These flowers do not have pollen in a location as easily accessible as the model flower that was used in Lesson 3. Students working in pairs will need to think carefully about 2 aspects of their hand pollinator design: the handle, which must be able to reach pollen wherever it's located in the flower, and the tip of the hand pollinator, which, as students learned, must pick up and drop off pollen. As we transition into the last performance expectation of this unit, students in Lesson 4 will be comparing the diversity of plant and animal life in different habitats. Students are using the text to collect information to be able to describe the type of habitat, land, or water, and the types of living things in each habitat, such as trees, grasses, bushes, birds, squirrels, ants, etc. Students will use these observations to create a comparison between the types of living things found in different habitats. The materials for this unit have been included within your material kit and are outlined here on this slide. Your EIE materials are going to be contained in a 12 by 12 cardboard box that was sent with your material kit in May. As you are planning the activities for this unit, please feel free to contact us with any questions, to request support, or share any ideas.